This video is just to review the different formulas for area that we've learned. And when we first started learning about area, we started with parallelograms. Now, parallelograms are the classification for quadrilaterals where both sides are parallel. So parallelograms can be rectangles. This is the most typical parallelogram because it does not have 90-degree angles. And squares also fall into parallelograms also. And remember, a square is a type of rhombus. So to find the area of parallelograms, what we do is we multiply the base times the height, and that is going to give us this surface right here. So we're going to multiply the base times the height. So the area of this parallelogram or figure right here would be 3 times 9. So the area of this parallelogram, 3 times 9, is 27. And remember, when we find the area, we're finding it in units squared because we want to find out how many little squares it takes to fill up that space. All right, let's look at the next one. So we're going to multiply the base times the height. Now it has this like little triangle thing here, but it's because this is the height. The height comes from straight down where it makes a 90-degree angle. This is the highest point of this parallelogram. The slant isn't the highest point. So we're going to multiply the base 12 times the height 7, which tells us that the area of this parallelogram is 12 times 7, 84 centimeters squared. All right, let's come over here. Okay, so I see that there's only one measurement here, and if there were little notches or little ticks right here, this would tell me that this is a square. Okay, so this is a square. A square is a special type of parallelogram, so I'm going to use the area for formula. I'm going to multiply the base 8 times the height, which is also going to be 8 because it's a square. So the area of this is going to be 8 times 8, which means the area of this square is 64 inches squared. Let's do a few more. Okay, coming here. So a parallelogram, so I'm going to multiply the base times the height. The height is given here, straight up and down. So the area is going to be 12 times 10, and 12 times 10 is 120, and we do our meters squared. Our units are squared. Aha, reviewing multiplying with a decimal. So here we go. To find the area, we're going to multiply the base 13 times the height, which is 1.5. So I am going to show my steps for this so that we can review multiplying with decimals. Oh, Sasha, you just made a meow meow. All right, so we're going to add. Okay, now remember, when you have one decimal place in your answer, we need one, or in your problem, we need one decimal place in our answer. So the area of this rectangle is going to be 19.5 centimeters squared. Cool. All right, so again, it looks like we have a square here. The area is going to be base times height. So all of the sides of a square are the same, which means that the base is going to be 4 and the height is 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. So the area of this square is 16 feet squared. Great. Okay, let's move on to triangles. But before we do that, I'm just going to say a special thank you to my assistant right here. She is making sure that I'm doing all of these the right way. Right, Sasha? Right? You're famous. You're going to be on YouTube, girl. She could not care less. Yeah, look at that face. Okay, time to do triangles. She's had enough. Okay, here we go. Moving on to area of triangles. So when it comes to finding the area of triangles, if you were to put two triangles together, you would get a parallelogram, which is why the formula is almost exactly the same. Only with triangles, you take half of the base times the height. So I'm going to write that right here. So to find the area of triangles, here's the formula. We are going to take 1/2 of the base times the height. So some people like to do base times height and then divide it by 2. I like to find half of one of the measurements because that makes it easier for me. So we're going to find 1/2 of the base 10 times the height 12. Okay. So what I like to do, like I said, is I like to find half of one of the measurements because then it makes it a smaller number to deal with. So for example, if I just take half of 10, what's half of 10? It's 5. And I can get my answer this way. 5 times 12 is 60, which means the area is 60 inches squared. Another way you can do it is take 1/2 of 10 times 12. Let's say you decide to take half of 12, which is 6. So now you have 10 times 6. Again, you get the same exact answer, 60 inches squared. Well, let's say you're just super anxious and want to take half of 10 times 12 because you just want to stick to the formula.